Welcome, residents, to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and across from me is the doctor himself.
Hello.
Each week, we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC while fielding questions from listeners like you.
Is it recording?
It is.
Am I being recorded as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that the recording reflected that.
Right. Yeah. It feels so much less certain than it used to be.
Which is funny because it's actually far more certain because I can literally see everything now. Like, we're actually in a much better spot, but somehow this has been the version that's actually been the least successful.
Right.
It's because I'm paying less attention, maybe, because everything's just like plug and play, baby.
Yeah. You're a little less paranoid about it.
I'm a little too loose.
Yeah, you're not caring as much. And do you know what? I think I want you to go back to the weird possessive paranoid that you used to be.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm focusing now more on business, which now employs you. So, so if I focus more on that, it's better for you there.
So does that make this business?
No, this is the thing that's keeping me from doing the other thing that actually puts money in your pocket.
Interesting.
So doing this is actually harming you.
I mean, not really.
I mean, it could be benefiting you more if I wasn't doing this.
I mean, that is true, but not for the reason you think.
True. But to continue to do this.
To continue to do
You heard
this.
me. We have a review that keeps these.
It's a good thing you've hired a writer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a review. Woo!
Woo! 5-star review. Actually, no. This is a 10-star review.
Yeah, lock up your daughters. This is 10 stars, baby.
Oh, no.
I don't know.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Okay.
No. Lock up your sons.
I don't think that's better.
No, it's much better.
Oh, God.
From Apple Podcast USA. Well, they don't let us do 10 stars on there.
Hey, you got to take it at face value.
All right, I'm going to continue.
Stop asking questions.
From Midnight Puck with the subject.
Yeah, did you ever get like a you up text and someone that wants to play shinny, they want a little midnight
Puck? Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I like it when there's at least some sexual invent in it, so it's a sucking puck.
Oh, jeez Louise. If they go straight from like one, if they go straight from your ass to your dick, is that a 2-line pass? There also hasn't been 2-line pass in the NHL for like a decade.
If you come over and take all of my hockey equipment, is that a cucking puck?
Wow. Keep going. I'll think of something.
Okay. With the subject, a wealth of knowledge, ... plus Richard. Hey, wait a minute.
Nice.
I've got knowledge. Just unappreciated knowledge.
They used to say that if you got a goal and an assist and a fight in one game, that was the Gordie Howe hat trick. But I have a different one where I get a goal, an assist, and a blowjob in a game, and I call that the Gordie Plow hat trick.
Wow. What a long journey it was to get there.
Yeah.
That was the Lord of the Rings of jokes.
Yeah.
I took 3 books.
Cuss the joke into the microphone. Do it.
Why shouldn't I keep it? Why shouldn't I keep this joke? They go on to say, listening to these guys talk DC helps me fill my gap in knowledge, having
Going for the Gordie Plow hat trick there.
having previously lived a Marvel-only lifestyle. Hey, you know what? At any age, you can change.
Not really sure that Marvel DC is like a lifestyle. I think it's just who you are.
No, you were just born that way.
Yeah.
It's not a lifestyle choice.
We shouldn't be joking like that. That's not good. We shouldn't do that.
Great info, great fun, great laughs, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Well, that's only in the situation where there's 10. But so this is 5.
But this is 10 out of 10.
Yeah, but in a situation where there is 10. So if there's 5, it's 5 out of 5.
Why are you trying to make this less?
Just saying.
How dare you?
If anything, we're about being factually accurate.
Yeah, we're big on that.
Yeah, it's an important piece of everything
Yeah,
we do.
we've never, ever gotten anything wrong.
No. And if you show us something where we did, fake news.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen. Or those liberal cucks changed it. They went and recorded over it and uploaded it.
Yeah,
It's a conspiracy.
yeah, the lamestream media.
Yeah, let's storm the Apple podcast.
Oh no. Uh-oh.
Speaking of, vote for us on the Canadian Podcast Awards.
Hashtag not my podcast. But yeah, if you are a podcaster in Canada,
Yeah.
hit us up.
Yeah.
Nominate us.
Nominate us.
Yeah.
We've got some news. Justice League Unlimited returns in comics.
Fuck yeah. It's so the universe of Justice League Unlimited, the animated show, is coming back for a 7-issue miniseries.
Oh, yeah, baby.
7-issue comic book miniseries called Justice League Infinity. It's good. It's
Yeah, well, Justice League Infinity +1.
It's bringing back the classic lineup: Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Jon Stewart, Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, Martian Manhunter. I'm so looking forward to this. I actually was a little bit disappointed when I learned it was a miniseries and not an ongoing, because I was like, I would love to keep reading from that universe, but I will take this.
Take what you can get, but hell yeah, that would be awesome.
Very, very cool though. And hopefully maybe the start of, because we have that, there's going to be that, remember they were going to do those like Batman 89 and Superman 78 comics.
Yeah.
I think maybe part of the fun of this Infinite Frontier era is let's get more comic continuations of things. There was that, we used to have that Smallville season 11. Mm-hmm. I'm up for basically anything. If someone's got a fun idea, I hope we get more of these type of things.
Yeah.
I think that would be really, really cool.
It's a great way to
I would love to see a Batman Brave and the Bold comic keep going, right? There's Teen Titans Go comics. I mean, not currently, I don't think, but there were, I'm always up for these kind of things. I think it's so cool. Plus, it's that idea of let's expand the continuity of that world, because maybe somewhere down the line we can have that amazing cartoon Justice League lineup meet the Prime continuity Justice League lineup.
Ooh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's sow all those seeds. It's a big wide omniverse out there now. Let's see all the cool connections we can make.
And you know how I feel about sowing seeds.
Yeah, well, I don't know how you think you feel about it.
Next, DC announces new Shazam limited series.
Yeah, so this is spinning out of the Teen Titans Academy series.
Yeah.
But basically, Shazam's powers are going screwy, and he's got to figure out what's happening. But yeah, so that's another series that's coming. These announcements all came from the July solicitations, so all this stuff is kind of coming in July. So this Shazam series, this Justice League Infinity,
for sure,
a couple of other ones as well. But yeah,
well, yeah, let's talk about them then, because Dan Jurgens and Ryan Sook team up for the new series Blue and Gold.
They are finally getting their own series. Yeah. Blue Beetle, Ted Kord, and Booster Gold, Michael John Carter.
Oh, yeah.
Are getting, I think it's an 8-issue miniseries.
Oh, baby.
I sent this to you and I was like, is this what's going to make you be a
week
floppy comic guy? Yeah.
It definitely feels like that. I might go in. I need to make a comic book shop visit anyway. So
yeah. You should ask about it.
Ooh,
you should get it.
Yeah, I think I might,
because it'll help boost your numbers on your app and everything.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be so much fun. Dan Jurgens is the creator / co-creator of Booster Gold.
Yeah.
He's written that character a ton. He knows the humor of those characters. He knows that voice. I think this is a series that's been bandied about for over a decade. Not this specific story, but just the idea of them getting one.
Yeah.
It's finally happening. So that's a ton of fun. Very excited for that.
Yeah. So everybody go get it so that we can continue to get more Booster and Beetle.
Yeah.
Very excited about that. Moving on, DC launches horror imprint with The Conjuring miniseries.
Yeah, I think the imprint is just called DC Horror or something like that.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, it's the series is called The Conjurer, The Lover, and it's like is it like 4 or 6 issue miniseries or something like that? But yeah, like The Conjuring, like the film franchise. They're doing like I guess that's a Warner Brothers movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then they get to tap into all that stuff.
I mean, it's awesome. I love it. It's 5-issue miniseries written and by the co-writer of The Conjuring 2.
Cool.
Probably the better Conjuring, to be honest. And the screenwriter of The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, David Leslie and Johnson McGoldrick.
Nice.
Alongside NYT best-selling author Rex Ogle. Some of you may recognize McGoldrick's name because he also wrote Aquaman and was recently announced to be returning for the sequel.
That's right. Yeah, no, I think that's dope. Plus, again, anytime there's an opportunity for DC or any of those big companies to publish things that are not their main thing, they should do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, very, very cool. Something for the horror fans out there.
Yeah, I'm into it. I might even pick that up.
Holy shit, it's happening.
No.
You're subscribing.
No.
Yeah, you're a floppy boy now.
I don't even subscribe to this podcast.
Yeah, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. We could really use the numbers.
Next.
Can you just set your app to auto download? You don't even have to listen. I just really want it to register.
No, all of you listening should, though.
Yeah. And do it for your parents.
Yeah, set up accounts for them. We've talked about this. Come on. Get with it.
Yeah. Set them up. Have them listen to this. Have them listen to Ghost Facers.
Yeah.
Set it to autoplay when their alarm goes off in the morning.
On Spotify for sure.
Yeah, just set it up.
Because it's those plays that actually benefit you on Spotify.
Yeah, exactly. So get that to happen so that when their alarm goes off in the morning, they just wake up to like, cucks.
If you actually put it all on repeat, that'd be really beneficial.
Just keep it playing quiet in the background.
Yeah, that's what we need. That worked for a lot of artists on Spotify.
Does it really?
Oh yeah, there was a lot of Spotify artists who went out and asked their fan base to like put their music on like just on repeat, and they like boosted up their numbers hugely, and Spotify had to pay them a shitload of money. I'm just saying that is a tool in a tool belt that someone may use. James Gunn breaks silence on Suicide Squad death toll theory.
Oh, was he being coy about it before?
So I
think he basically
he didn't talk about it.
I think, but people were like trying to guess that, like, I bet there's gonna be 8 deaths or like half the characters are gonna die. And I think he said like you're still too attached to these characters. Like I think he's basically saying like expect very few characters to make it out of this.
Well, because there was even a theory that everyone was going to die, and his response was, "This is very optimistic to say the least."
Right.
Which is like, wait, what does that mean? And and very much like saying, don't get too attached to characters. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the idea that all of them are going to die, like, we know they're not going to kill Peacemaker because they've already started making that
unless
show.
it's a prequel.
Unless it's a prequel, I guess. But they're obviously not going to kill Harley. I think other than that, almost anyone else is back on the table. I would suspect they're not going to kill Waller, but that would be a power move.
Yeah.
If, like, something happened there.
I'm curious.
I think basically everyone else in that movie is fair game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Next, Aquaman 2 casts Game of Thrones actor Pilu Aspek. Or Aspek? I don't know. He fucking ruled.
Right. I don't know who they've cast him as.
I don't think they've said anything about
the
that.
one like theory online is that he got cast as Vostok X, who's one of the others. He's like the others are this sort of team of people that each have an Atlantean artifact that gives them a power.
Yeah,
and they sort of team up with Aquaman for a bit in the New 52 comics, which would be cool. But again, that's just a theory out of literally nowhere at all.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, yeah, exactly.
We just have no idea. But it's cool that the casting has already started because I think this is a movie that's felt like it's a very far away thing for a really long time, but it's supposed to come out at the end of 2022. So I guess it's got to start moving, right?
Well, yeah, because wasn't there that whole thing where it was after the first one where Jason Momoa was basically like, if you keep doing construction on this site in Hawaii, we're not going to film.
It wasn't even that. Like, that wasn't even the thing. I mean, that also happened.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the thing pushing it back. It was that James Wan was like, no, I got other stuff I'm doing. I'll come back to this in 3 years.
Wow, really?
Like, that was just always, it was always going to be like a big gap.
Wow.
And that was part of the reason that I think they pitched that, like, animated miniseries, which is also taking a very long time to come out.
Yeah, it kind of didn't work out for them, yeah.
Or it didn't work the way they thought it would or whatever. It's fine. It doesn't matter. But, it's cool to hear that some stuff is moving because, I think it felt like it was so far away. It's like, oh, we're never going to hear about Aquaman 2 at this rate. But
yeah. Next, DC Comics introduces the Monkey Prince.
Okay, right. Monkey Prince. What is this from? This is I should know this too. What series is this?
And debuting in a story written by award-winning writer Jean Lung Yang.
Oh yes, sorry. Is this in Batman Superman?
They have written that with art inspired by the Monkey King legendary hero. It's a 12-page story. I don't know if it's actually part of ongoing.
Sorry. This is part of the Festival of Heroes.
Yes.
This is what this is. This is the anthology book that's coming. That's all about like East Asian characters and stuff like that. That is what this is. So Monkey Prince is showing up in there. That is going to be a very, very cool book. The Final Order cutoff may have already passed, but if it hasn't, get on it. There's going to be lots of cool stuff in there, including like I would expect to see. I think there's a Cass Kane story in there. I imagine there's like a Con Keenan story in there. All sorts of cool ones. But yeah, it's important to go get that book because if you want to support seeing those characters and getting more of those stories, that's the sort of things that the execs want to see sell well.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently,
Monkey Prince is interesting, though.
Which is inspired by the Monkey King of Chinese mythology story.
That's very cool.
This is also titled "The Monkey Prince Hates Superheroes."
Interesting. I don't know anything about this character from
me either
from Chinese mythology.
No,
which is my bad, but
also exciting because it's an opportunity to learn.
Yeah, it would be cool too to see like.
He's
I'll probably read it in this thing first, and then I'll be like, okay, cool, I get it. And then I'll probably go and check out what the actual myth is, and I'll go like, oh, it's totally different. But like, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I take that.
Monkey Prince battles and teams up with Shazam
to
defeat both the evil Dr. Savannah and a Chinese deer demon spirit.
Love that. I love everything about that.
That's fucking awesome. That's
very
rad
cool.
as hell. I love that. All right, next, a bit of sad news. Joy Hummel, first female Wonder Woman writer, passes.
Yeah, and she was like you said, the first female writer on Wonder Woman, and I think she also like ghost wrote a bunch of Wonder Woman stuff too. But yeah, she passed away. She was
70.
Yeah.
Like a
no, she was older than that.
No,
wasn't she?
She died. Oh, her 97th
yeah, that's
birthday.
What I was
that's right.
Say. She was like almost 100 because she was writing it in like the 40s.
But she wrote Wonder Woman for 70 years.
Yeah. But again, there was a lot of like things that I think she did kind of uncredited or whatever, Yeah, very sad. Real icon, and a trailblazer, like
at first Hummel just typed Marston's scripts, which is interesting. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so cool. Kind of the part of that sort of secret history of comic books a little bit. But yeah, very sad. But I mean, 97, God, that's a hell of a run,
That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Definitely somebody I wish I knew more about.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, moving on. And the final piece of news, the trailer lands for Batman The Long Halloween Part 1.
Oh, Jensen is Batman.
Have you watched it?
Yeah, have you?
No.
Oh my God.
I think I need to watch it.
Jensen.
Oh my god! So here, I'll tell you, I watched a bit of this trailer this morning just to and I was I probably watched maybe like the first like third of it,
Sure.
just enough to like hear the voice, and I was like, oh, that's a really good Batman voice, and I totally forgot that it was Jensen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then I went to the article about it, and I was reading through, and I was like, oh shit, this is the thing with Jensen. I was like, oh, that's my new Batman. There it is.
It's Jensen Ackles voicing Batman in, I think, your favorite comic
Yeah.
book. Yeah.
Well,
Long Halloween.
My favorite Batman series, probably.
It's not even your favorite comic. Oh, right. Sorry. All seasons. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. And I don't even know if All Seasons is anymore.
What?
Anyways,
is it Final Crisis? It's Final Crisis, isn't it?
It's not Final Crisis.
Is it Pax Americana?
All of these things are not it for sure.
Is it For Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Do you know what this trailer is missing?
Eating pussy.
Hey, it goes after Cowboy. I mean, that's literally a line of Batman Returns. The Penguin's like, there's the pussy I've been looking for.
Oh, God. Ugh.
He's so vile.
Vile.
No, this looks dope. So this will be in 2 parts.
Yeah.
There's a part 1 and a part 2.
Oh, is that how 2 parts work?
Fuck you. There's Jensen is Batman. This is Naya Rivera is Catwoman. So like, must be like the last thing she did.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, it looks dope. I love the art style of this sort of new animated universe. It's the same art we've gotten in these other movies like Justice Society World War II, which is coming out, and like Superman Man of Tomorrow. And I really like the look of it. I think it's going to be really cool.
I'm so stoked for this. I don't watch a lot of those animated movies and stuff, but this one, I mean...
Yeah.
It's got all of the things.
Yeah, totally.
Also, like, Jensen could just do all animated Batman stuff. I'm okay with that.
He could just do a real Batman. Like, I don't mean in a movie. I just mean, like, someone should, like, fund him and let him fight crime.
Oh! Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah. No, because then he could
modify the Impala to be like a Batmobile.
Oh, okay. You've resold me now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fucking rad as hell.
Oh, Jensen, are you listening? Jensen, can you hear me?
Jensen, can you hear me sing? Well, that finishes the news, which means we are now going into the final episode of Prescribed Reid-ing
Month.
Oh, Prescribed Reid-ing
Month.
Yeah. Fucking nailed it.
That's a good little jingle there.
It's great. Yeah. That was a jingle. I'm glad.
Fuck you. I used all my good words working for you. This is all I got left.
Oh, God. Worth it. The final book, completely 100% chosen by you.
Yes. Which is not in doubt.
There could have been so many choices we would have ended up with, so many different books.
And we'll never know what they are.
But you voted, you chose, and you
chose a character we have never talked about before.
Yeah.
And then based on that, Richard chose this book.
I'm so excited to jump into this like psychedelic 80s comic book.
Shut the fuck up.
What?
Man. Shut the fuck up.
What? I'm just describing the comic book.
We never talked about this character before.
No, we didn't. This cool psychedelic 80s.
Yo, shut the fuck up, man.
I don't understand. What's the problem? That's right. We're talking about Thriller, Volume 1, Issue Number 1.
Yeah. Yeah,
not
to be confused with all of the subsequent volumes of this book. I love that you managed to find a book so obscure that not only did I have to look it up, but like even on like the Doc Squad, people were like, "Oh, I just went and looked this up. It's this." Like, you found a book so obscure that like no one was ready for it.
That's right. That's what I'm here for.
Very, very, very interesting pick that way, I would say.
Yeah.
So this is a okay. This is a book. I'm just pulling up the info here. I want to make sure I credit the right people here.
Yes.
So, it's written by Robert Loren Fleming. Art is Trevor Von Eden, who
great last name,
who we know as the the person Tony Isabella doesn't want to admit is the co-creator of Black Lightning.
Yes.
Which is its own little thing that I don't want to get into. But so Robert Loren Fleming, Trevor Von Eden created this series. It's about this person named Angie Thriller who can she can like imbue herself into objects, and she can also kind of see into the future. And so she's sort of this very vague, esoteric sort of character. And she kind of leads this team called the 7 Seconds that are all these sort of weird hodgepodge of people with some have powers and some are just good at things and stuff like that. It's a 12-issue series, but Robert Loren Fleming leaves after issue 6 or 7.
Oh, really?
Trevor Von Eden leaves after issue 8.
Oh, wow.
The editor, Dick Giordano, left after issue 2.
Wow.
And the whole series doesn't go past 12.
I did not know that.
And it never came back.
It's a travesty.
It has a very odd history that we'll dive into.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about the issue, though.
What did you think?
I don't dislike this. There are things I like about this issue. I think that it's very interesting that this. I think the art. I think Trevor Von Eden's art.
It's the best piece.
Goes a long way in this
Definitely.
issue, and it's not just the quality of he's capturing this like. It simultaneously feels like, like rainy night in the city, but it also feels like walking through like a dream at times. And he's capturing all those things very well. It's very kinetic. Like, I think you can feel the movement and the kind of, it has a sort of scratchy, like rough quality to it.
But it also at the same time feels like cloudy and like pastel-y.
Yeah, it's doing a lot of sort of opposite kind of things. But also he's really fucking with like panel layouts and that in a way that like comics then did do a ton. Like
in a way that I've barely seen in general.
Like there's pages where the you have to read it like snaked like a backwards
or
S,
upside down
or that there's a page, it's a full page, and the panels are like in between the rotor rotation of a helicopter blade.
Yeah.
So it's like you see like a bit of something and it's like whoop, and it looks like it's cutting it. And
yes.
It's like whoop, 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 whoop. And you kind of read
so
it in these
cool.
little slices down the page. Fucking looks incredible. It's some of
Yeah.
the best art I've certainly seen out of Trevor Von Eden.
It's some of my favorite art I've seen in comics.
It's really, really strong visually. And the stuff when like Angie Thriller shows up, like kind of has that like the way that they draw like Ramakrishna in Dead Man comics, like just a face in the light in the sky kind of thing. Really kind of feels transcendental, like we're kind of tapping into like another plane. The artwork in this is incredible. The story.
Yeah, I mean, it's one issue.
This is just one issue. This is a setup, obviously, right? It's a pilot episode.
It's to introduce you to the idea of the 7 seconds.
Yeah, so we meet Ken and Dan Grove, who are like reporter. They're brothers,
investigative journalists.
But they're also investigative journalists. Dan is like
they're twin brothers.
Dan is the cameraman, and Ken is the
like on air reporter.
And they're in the Middle East or something like that, and they are. He's like, keep it rolling, keep it rolling. They're trying to get to this terrorist who has like threatened. I can't remember exactly who he threatened, but his name is Scabbard, and he sent a threat. Oh, he demands that like the president like sacrifice himself, like surrender himself. It's a very out there kind of thing. And these guys go in, I guess, to interview him in this sort of Lois Lane way. But when they get in there, Scabbard says, like, you keep the camera rolling. I know who you are. I saw what you did. And you're like, fuck. And he's like, the interview starts now. And you go, okay. And then right away, Scabbard introduces like his right-hand woman.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it's verified or not. But I think it's like Angie Thriller, I think, shows up. And I guess Ken sees her.
Yeah.
Because there's like a little sub-panel of
I was trying to figure that out.
Of Angie's eyes.
Yeah.
And then Ken freaks out and slaps this woman. And you're like, what? and he's like, she's a hypnotist or something. Like he yells that, and then Scabbard is like, well, you have to die now. Scabbard is also literally a human Scabbard. He pulls a sword out of his spine.
It's so fucked up.
Which is a fucked up design, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's got this like red kind of robot helmet.
Yeah, I was just like, is that his face without skin on
but
it?
But also, is that helmet like in him? Like,
hard
is
to
he kind of
tell.
cyborg? Kind of cool. But he takes this sword out and he decapitates
his brother.
He decapitates Ken, and Dan is recording it the whole time because Ken tells him to. This is like fucking Pa Kent in the tornado.
Yeah.
He's like, keep the camera rolling, like Dad always said, which is also like a weird. So Dan just records his brother's decapitation. He gets paid $30,000.
Oh my god, I know. He sold it to them.
Yeah, he gets paid by like the network or whatever. They're like, this is great. You want to keep doing this? And he tells them to go fuck themselves.
Do you have another brother? Like,
and then he's sort of recruited by Angie Thriller.
Yeah, she shows up basically and is just
kind of
like,
comes to him in a vision sort of thing and says, I've seen your future. You have 7 seconds, stuff like that. And then the rest of the issue is him like, I don't even follow precisely what he's doing, but he's like handed directions and he gets in a car, and then we meet this guy named Data who is
not an animatronic engineering
he's
department.
in a limo that's driving itself, but he's plugged into the limo.
Yeah.
And so, like, he is the limo in a way, like a limo cyborg, which is sort of funny. And then he gets, like, handed an address, and he goes there, and he meets someone else. He meets White Satin, like, who is this person who can seem to, like, disrupt people's neurons. She can, like, make people sick or make people woozy or stop them from moving or whatever. She seems to be able to disrupt their bodily functions. He meets Proxy, who is this person who they have like a fake skin that's so malleable that they could change their shape every 24 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
Master of disguise, basically. Turtle. He meets what's his name? Something Parrish. Breaker Parrish.
Yes.
Who is the first artificially created human.
Yes.
But he's like 9'6" and he's a flying priest.
Well, because he started out as like a baby.
He's a 9'6" flying priest.
He
basically.
actually grew.
Yeah.
Like he started out as a baby.
They say he was like 7 feet tall when he was 8 or
but
something
they
like that.
brought him into like a parish or something like that. And
yeah, he was like raised by the clergy.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Quasimodo sort of situation.
Exactly. Yeah, and now he's 9 feet tall.
Yeah, he's a 9 foot tall flying priest. He meets Salvo, whose name is like Tony
Salvatore.
Salvatini.
Yeah, it's the most Italian name ever to ever exist.
This guy is like Deadshot. Like he's the best marksman. He like shoots a bullet out of the air like when they meet and kind of shit like that. So he meets them all and he learns that they are called the 7 Seconds, that they've been brought together by Angie Thriller for a reason. He meets Edward Thriller at the end, who seems to be running the team, and then that's sort of it. The issue is kind of like the setup of like, we're going to bring you into this world. We need to meet these characters, and then we'll go from there. So the issue itself isn't actually about much.
No, it's just the setup of this team.
What did you think of this?
I kind of really liked it.
I like it too. I will say, like, this is not an easy first issue because even
the art's crazy.
Even trying to follow Dan from beat to beat, I feel like there are gaps in that time.
Yeah,
where it's like, wasn't he just in the street? Like, are we in a building now?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of that kind of shit.
It jumps around, but I think it's intentionally it's supposed to make you feel like jarred and like.
I think you're right. I do think it's deliberate.
Because he feels that way.
Tell me about your take on this, what you liked.
Because I mean, when I was doing a lot of research for this month, and I was trying to find something that like nobody had really heard of, something that kind of like was interesting, got left by the wayside. Yeah. And I just was like, the art was like just blowing my mind because I'd never really seen anything like that inside of a DC book. It's a palette that I particularly love, especially. So it was something that I just
lots of purples and pinks and like baby blue.
Yeah. Very much like sort of the yellows, and like it's very much a really nice, almost like Easter-y pattern. But
colors are Tom Zuko.
Yeah, incredible work, and so it was interesting, and then it just felt like a bit of like gem worldy, and I didn't really understand where it was coming from, and so I took a chance on it, and I read it today, and as I was going through it, it was just like at first I was like, "Oh God, this is a bit challenging to read."
Yeah.
There was moments where it was heading towards a potential like maybe doesn't work great in 2021
Right.
moment, but it never really goes there, which is nice because it starts like because when the terrorist shows up, he's like this is my woman. And I'm like,
yeah, it's not great.
But then she's like, this is my man. And I'm like, okay. I mean,
yeah. It does sort of dodge.
It dodges
things
a lot of those
bit.
type of moments. And it definitely is. I mean, it's like from like 1983 or 1984. Like it feels of its time.
We don't shout this out very much, but I'm just opening it up and flipping
Yeah.
through. Like the lettering.
Oh, yeah.
There's some very strong
Really great
lettering choices in here. In like relatively subtle, but even just the difference between some different word balloons and like a solid line, a dashed line, a cloud, a spiky line.
Oh,
like,
yeah. The
there's all
whispering
these,
one I love that they did. The
there's-
like dashed line that makes it whispering.
There's so many interesting things. These big kind of screaming moments. They mess with the size of words. I
Yeah.
think more than a modern comic would actually. It's very interesting. There's some very, very strong lettering work in this.
I thought of your dad.
Okay.
When I was reading this because there's one part where the comic suddenly turns into an ad.
Oh yes, I also noticed that. Yes, yeah.
Immediately thought of your father.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
space frontier ad.
Like the God, this page of Ken, who's like, he's got the shit kicked out of him. His
Yeah.
face is all like bruised, bloody, and swollen, and he can't even say the words. But he's trying to say,
Goo.
he's trying to say, keep it rolling. He's just going, keep it rolling, and then he gets his head cut off.
Insane.
Yeah. From now on, anyone that laughs about that thing of Man of Steel, I'm pointing them to this issue.
Yeah.
Be like, this is a thing that happens in comics
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. The weird goo goo gaga thing in this was a bit strange.
Okay, so when he meets White Satin, she's a
Yes.
very beautiful woman. Literally, the first thought he has is, she's like, did she smile at me? Could someone like me and someone like her? And then later he's like, God, she reminds me of my mom.
Yeah,
And then-
it's weird.
And then she touches him and like disrupts his neurons or whatever. And he's like, say something suave. And he goes, goo, goo, goo. He's like,
It's just funny.
and he like falls into a wall. It's
Yeah.
that is very funny, but it's also very weird.
Yeah.
Because while he's saying, like, she reminds me of my mom, she like, her face changes.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, does she always look like that? It's like, wait, are we using the first issue to set up that this guy wants to fuck his mom?
Yeah, Freud had a lot to say about this book.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like look at this design for Scabbard. He's got like this box out of his
Yeah.
back. Like the sword is in his skin.
Yeah.
And he pulls this sword out.
So fucked up.
Like, this is the instrument of God. He's
It's
got like
crazy.
the rhetoric is really good of
Yeah.
this like terrorist. Disciple of the great Satan, William Martin. You are marked. William Martin is the name of the president
Yeah.
that he wants to surrender. But yeah, look at this art, the greens, and yeah, the inks are incredible. The inks are Trevor Von Eden as well. Angie Thriller showing up like over the city.
Just
All the
incredible.
silhouettes and stuff.
Yeah.
It looks like she's the wind, like the way it's
Yeah.
drawn. It's outrageously good. Very cool lettering choice of how she sort of
speaks-
communicates.
They really fuck with like the way you portray language and stuff within a comic.
This again, and how kinetic this is. This is where he meets Data.
Yeah.
There's like 16 panels on one page,
Which is
and it's
crazy.
like bang, 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 bang.
But
they're
also like the way that they're angled and
they're on angles. You sort of like you kind of like are rushed from one into the other, kind of like the car rushing around the city. Like it's no two pages are at all the same in terms
No.
of layout or anything. Yeah, I mean.
It's
We
consistent in its-
go
in its
from like
consistencies,
rectangular
yeah.
panels on one page where we think White Satin's in trouble, and then as soon as she fucks with the guys,
Suddenly-
then all the panels go into like weird trapezoid shapes and
so
like
cool.
Trevor Von Eden's art is outrageous.
Yeah.
in this, it's so good. Yeah. This whole gosh, she's beautiful. I wonder if she and a guy like me, and like a page later, she reminds me of my mother. Is that what she looked like?
So weird.
Oh no, she's leaving. Got a fast talker. Goo, goo, goo.
So funny. What a weird book. I kind of love how weird it is.
Yeah. Also, Does Salvo have eyes in his hand? Can he see around
Yeah,
corners like
yeah.
that? Is that what's happening? Because then he
Yeah.
also shows his hand later, and
I think he can change what's on his hand.
is it that, or is Angie in his hand? Because he also shows Angie later.
Oh, interesting.
I have a
Maybe.
lot of questions about this, but it's very, very cool. But yeah, Salvo is basically like a Deadshot, Deathstroke type, who says only flesh wounds, only outpatients. So he's a guy that will not kill. He'll wound, but he's such a good shot that he'll never kill.
Yeah, Italy Italiano himself.
Yeah. My name, Italy Italiano. Yeah. He's Angie's sister. That's right.
He's
Tony.
He's Angie's brother.
Sorry. Yeah. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. Tony Salvatini. They call me Salvo. Yeah. It's just this is that helicopter page.
Yeah, it's so
Outrageous
fucking cool.
art.
I love it.
I really like this. It's
Yeah.
weird as fuck.
It's so weird, but I kind of appreciate it for that.
There's I don't know how much of this I want to get into before we
Yeah.
do the questions, because there's some stuff in here, but I do want to say that I found a very interesting little article called The History of Thriller.
Really?
Yeah. And
And it wasn't about the song?
I have a quote from the editor that took over after Dick Giordano, who Dick Giordano was like, yeah, make this book, and he left after issue 2. The editor that came in after that,
Yeah.
he wrote, this is a quote from him. He says, Alan Moore volunteered to take over as writer,
Whoa.
but I stupidly stuck with the writer Dick gave me.
Oh.
I saw it as a matter of loyalty. Having been a
Fuck,
freelancer
you
for about
fucking
10
idiot.
years, I couldn't warm up to the idea of firing a freelancer. As a result, Karen Berger got her big break with Swamp Thing, and I went nowhere, as I deserved, having turned Thriller, among others, into a mediocre bore.
Wow.
Because like I said, as this series went on,
it probably gets less good.
well, the writer leaves.
Yeah.
Trevor Von Eden leaves. But before Trevor Von Eden leaves, he's kind of phoning it in a bit. I've seen some art from subsequent issues. It's not even close.
Wow.
And then it goes nowhere. They could never make it stick. The new writer wasn't doing the weird shit the way this was setting up. Just went nowhere. But yeah, this editor was like, yeah, Karen Berger got her big break with Swamp Thing and Alan Moore, and I went nowhere, and I deserve to go nowhere. It's like, holy shit.
Is he on this podcast?
This guy is like taking a slow drink and looking at himself in the mirror and going like, Thriller, you're the one that got away.
Fuck. Could you imagine if Alan Moore had taken over?
But what the interesting thing here, and what that quote is setting up as well, is like, we are on the precipice of the things that would become Vertigo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is 100%
This
a
is
Vertigo
just
book.
pre-Alan Moore on Swamp Thing.
Totally a Vertigo
This
book.
totally would have been, right?
Yeah.
I think we got a question that's kind of about that. I've got more from this thing,
Yeah,
but
okay.
I just wanted to throw it out there just so that people get a sense of the tone and stuff. Like things that would come later, like Moore's Swamp Thing or like Shade the Changing Man or all sorts
Yeah.
of stuff like that. You could see the proto elements of them in something like Thriller. And Thriller is interesting because it's trying to toe this line between like very weird shit and like it's still a superhero team. It's like, mainstream comic? Because there was just no home for those things yet.
Yeah.
This whole series exists before there's like an imprint for that, like a place where it's like, I want something more literary. So for people buying mainstream comics, they were like, this is weird as hell.
Yeah.
And people then reading it, like who were maybe into weirder stuff, would go like, it's a little mainstream.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
It's like my guitar.
Isn't that weird?
It's like the guitar that I have, which is it was Gibson's response to Fender becoming really popular in the 70s, and so they wanted to make a bolt-on neck, which Gibson doesn't do. Typically, they don't have bolt-on
Isn't this
necks.
the one that like they only made for like a couple of years?
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something, or
yeah.
like a year or something.
Yeah, exactly. There's only a couple generations of it, and it's got a bolt-on neck with a flying V head stock.
Crazy.
And then the body of basically like the Epiphone body.
Right.
It's an insane guitar. It's called the Gibson Marauder, but it's very much like Gibson people hated it because it kind of sounded like a Fender. Fender people hated it because it was a Gibson.
Yeah,
and
it was for no one.
It was for no one except for me, who wanted both the everything that's good about Gibson and Fender, which this guitar is. It's got the like full like mids of a Gibson, but with like that sort of like clangy metal tone that you could get from a Fender. It's beautiful, but if you want one or the other, you're nobody's happy.
That is very much how this book feels to me.
This book makes sense because I like it.
I will say, weird mom comment aside, there's no pussy eating.
I know.
There's
I'm so
nothing
sorry, you
nothing
guys.
salacious in this. We broke the curse.
Yeah.
Is there anything like any other kind of big moments or notes or anything from this that you want to like touch on before we dive into questions?
I would just say that like the idea of the 7 seconds thing really got my attention. Like I was like, what does
Yeah.
that mean? Why do they call it 7 seconds? Is there like, are they heading towards something that's like going to
'cause
happen
there's
in a
almost
short amount
this
of
thing,
time?
it's almost like it's predestined.
Like each person is like going to like do something within a second or so. Like I was trying to figure it out and I'm like, this has got my interest. Like you could do something really cool with this if you fucking stuck the landing, which they clearly don't. But
yeah, I think part of the problem too is like people necessarily weren't behind it, or it had a very small dedicated group of people that liked it, and the rest were kind of like, I don't know.
that being said,
then they were probably getting, because of that, pressure from up top, and then because of that, they were like, I'm gonna phone it in a bit, and then they left the book. You know what I mean? Like it fell apart so quickly.
that being said,
But this is a great first issue,
I want the rest of the issues.
right?
I just want them.
Yeah,
I wanna have it.
I certainly want up to 8.
Yeah.
I want up to where Trevor Von Eden leaves.
well,
I don't know that I need a book that's completely divorced from this. Like, I don't know that I need 9 to 12.
I know, but it's only a few more.
I guess.
It's only 12.
Right. Yeah.
You could just own them all.
True. It's hard to track down. This book is not digital.
No. I had to get this off
There is
Amazon.
no trade.
I'm going to look and see how many more of them from Amazon I can find.
Yeah. It's a weird one. Out of 5 capes, what do you give this issue?
That's interesting.
Keeping in mind, this is maybe the first time ever that both of us have basically gone into something cold.
Yeah. I'm going to give it 4 capes.
I think I'm giving it like 4.5.
Yeah.
I think it's weird. It's all set up. There's no
Payoff.
there's no one and done in this story.
No.
Like he solves a thing and now he's on the team. It's nothing like that. It's literally just set
You
up.
fall your way through this. You trip your way through this book.
But it's captivating.
Yeah.
I'm giving this 4.5.
Wow.
I really like this.
Fuck. I did pretty good this year.
You did for our inaugural
Just prescribed reading.
month. Yeah, I agree.
Hell yeah. Let's get into the few questions we got.
Yeah, can you imagine that there weren't a ton of questions about this?
No, surprising. But before we do, we got a little break.
What?
From Lucretia Lyon and Susan Eisenberg comes the first Comic-Con for soap operas. SoapCon Live.
Woo! Yeah, baby.
Hell yeah. SoapCon Live is proud to partner with The Locker Room to bring your favorite daytime stars to your living room with free live panels starting May 1st. Now, I don't know if any of you here might be soap opera fans, but I was as a kid.
If you like comic books, you should like soaps on some level. They're serialized. The stories go crazy. Characters that should be dead keep coming back.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot to like about
Magic
soaps.
comes into some of them.
Totally.
Days of Our Lives gets crazy.
Totally. And, friend of the podcast, past and future guest,
That's right.
Lucretia Lyon, and voice of Wonder Woman, Susan Eisenberg,
Holy shit.
are putting this con together. So cool.
Yeah, I love that. It's sponsored by Soap Opera Digest, Retro TV, and It's Real Good TV. Check out soapcon.com to see the complete schedule, purchase autographs, video greetings, or book your virtual meet and greet with your favorite soap star today. And we're back.
Hey.
We haven't done one of those in a while.
Yeah, God, I forgot what that felt like. Hey, who read that? Was it McConaughey or was it was it Buffalo Bill Seymour Hoffman? Oh, yeah. Buffalo Philip Seymour Hoffman.
It's been a while. Oh, I'm gonna give a soap opera.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so soapy. Just
Oh no.
Lather it up.
Oh no, that's not what that meant at all. Let's get into the questions
Let's do it.
from Instagram.
Now we're going to Instagram, take some questions and answer them. Squeep it.
You're allowed to. It's the one time.
It's the only time, yeah.
One and only question from Instagram from Blast Past Cast, who asks, "What the hell is Thriller?"
Yeah. Well, no mere mortal can resist the evil of the Thriller.
That's true. It's the thriller of the night.
I better stop. We're gonna get sued.
By who?
Listen, we're big enough now. The eyes are on us. Brooks Thriller.
Don't.
Sorry.
Save your songs.
Oh yeah, fuck. Yeah. What is Thriller?
Yeah,
I talked about it a lot.
that's right.
What is Thriller?
Thriller is, from what I can tell, the beginning of the 80s, a sort of superhero / mystery action comic, but psychedelic, and it's sort of like leaving the psychedelic 70s and 60s and sort of trying to figure its path into the 80s. It really is a product of its time, and I think it just from the artwork alone, it's probably some of the best artwork I've ever seen. It's worth just to have framed in a room, I think.
Yeah. So I'm gonna add.
The dictionary describes Thriller as.
Yeah, Thriller is described as. The Webster's Dictionary defines marriage as if I'm at an event and someone starts a speech by citing Webster's or Oxford Dictionary, I'm just like, oh, get fucked.
I'm just gonna be like, boo,
get fucked. It's like, yeah. So Angie Thriller herself, we said, can imbue her soul into objects and things, and can see into the future a bit and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, the 7 seconds. I'm just trying to see if we missed anybody. Oh, we did. So there's Beaker Parrish, Daniel Grove, who is the photojournalist who filmed his brother dying. There's Data, who's in the limo. Proxy, who's the master of disguise. Salvo, Tony Salvatini, who's an expert marksman.
Italy Italiano, yeah.
White Satin, who can disrupt people's physiology. And the person that we missed is Crackerjack, who we do meet.
Oh, that's right.
Who's a Honduran pickpocket.
Great name.
Yeah.
Feels slightly racist, and I'm not sure why.
Could be. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, God, what a crazy book. I actually... Yeah, I like it.
I know it's.
I want to shit on it because it's isn't this a weird thing that didn't go anywhere? But it's actually kind of sad to me because I like it.
It started so strong,
and without having read the subsequent issues to see it potentially stumble and trip over itself. I don't know if the first 4 issues are great or if the first 6 are great or if only this one is.
We need to find out. We're gonna start a podcast about this.
The Thrillcast.
Yeah, I mean we have no choice
because it's a Thrillcast night.
Yeah. Pod for your life. Yeah, it's a Thrillcast.
Yeah, I mean I guess that's the short version of what the hell is Thriller.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
in case you skipped the beginning,
it's a 12-issue 1983 to 1984 series. Yeah, baby.
Awesome. Let's leave Instagram and head on over to Reddit,
where everyone's nice, no one's ever mean.
That's right. We're getting to Reddit real quick today.
I know. I love this. I love when it's a weirdly weighted episode in terms of where the questions come from. That always makes me laugh.
It helps me understand who are the true fans.
Well, I mean, there's also a paywall and an easy way to tell.
Yes.
Yeah, the rest of you aren't real fans. Gatekeeping our own fans.
Unless you want to prove me wrong.
I mean, I just thought you cared about us a little bit more.
Yeah, man, it's fine. I mean, it is what it is.
It's just all sorts of shitbag attitude.
On Reddit, first question and only question comes from I Am Wallpaper.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah, until you pony up for the Patreon.
That's all you're ever going to be.
So rude.
Who asks, why has this series been so thoroughly erased from DC Comics history? I've never heard of it, and I've listened to almost all of your episodes.
Yeah, I mean,
my work is done. I'm so happy with this.
It's funny because lots of things don't do well, or they get referenced or they come back later. As far as I can tell, the only reference to Thriller outside of this series is in an issue of Ambush Bug at some point.
Yeah.
Who famously breaks the fourth wall and stuff like that. I don't even know what issue of Ambush Bug. I haven't found it. But apparently it's the only sort of outside of the series reference to Thriller.
Yeah.
In this thing that I was reading, this article, it did talk a little bit about the idea that Thriller does show up in Who's Who. Who's Who 23.
Oh, really?
Has a little thing about Thriller, but Who's Who was like literally Who's Who in the DC universe.
Oh,
it was like,
okay.
It was that kind of book.
Yeah,
it wasn't like
yeah.
a story about someone. You know what I
okay.
mean? So apparently, I've got a quote here. So, okay, sorry. Yeah. So here's this. This blogger Johnny Bacardi, who set up the unofficial
Johnny Bacardi?
Yeah, he set up the unofficial Thriller website years ago.
What?
And he has a whole overview of like cast, plot, history of the series, all this kind of stuff. He had a letter printed in Thriller 12. And then he recalls this. He says, "I was bitching about how poor the Dubé Nino team was. That's the creative team that took over after the original creators of the series.
Yeah.
And I offered to buy Fleming and Von Eden a beer if they'd get back together and work out whatever creative differences there might have been.
Wow.
The offer still stands, by the way. It bugged me for years, and finally when I created the site and was able to talk to both of them, I was able to get the whole story. I wouldn't count on a reunion, though. When I first made their acquaintance in 2002, they hadn't spoken to each other since they first got together to plan out the first few issues of Thriller. Not that there were hard feelings, they just didn't get the opportunity.
Wow.
And then in terms of a reunion, hang on. This is still Mr. Bacardi here. He's saying, to be honest, I dread some well-meaning editor getting it into his head to revive the book with some other creators.
Yeah.
God knows, blah, 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 blah. Apparently it had been pitched to some people when, like, at first when they were like negotiating like new contracts and that. Sometimes DC would throw out like, do you want to try Thriller or something like that? But it never happened. And the view of this particular guy is that it should just be left for the original creators. But apparently there was talk of bringing it back in the late 80s with Keith Giffen on art.
Wow.
But doing it as a Salvo miniseries.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So the idea has been floated, but it just never happened.
Yeah.
It wasn't completely 100% initially abandoned.
Yeah.
But it just never materialized. And now, because it's this little kind of niche, eclectic thing, I think the people that are into it are kind of like, no, just leave it. Don't touch it. Let it be this thing.
You know who's always got a pocket full of 20-year-old condoms?
Uh-oh.
Johnny Bacardi. Who tucks in his V-neck black t-shirt? Johnny Bacardi.
Listen. I mean, mine's not tucked in, but I am wearing a V-neck black t-shirt.
He's got a collection of gold chains with different horoscope signs on them.
Yeah.
Johnny Bacardi.
Yeah, who do I want to hook up with tonight? It was like, oh, you're a Sagittarius,
Yeah.
so am I.
Johnny Bacardi.
Johnny Bacardi, baby. So funny. But yeah, so, I mean, apparently there were possibly thoughts or attempts to maybe bring it back. It never materialized.
Do you think that's why he liked it so much? Because there was a guy named Tony Salvatore, and he's like, oh, Johnny Bacardi loves this guy.
Yeah, he's like, my name's positively normal now.
Hey,
Tony Salvatini.
yeah, it's Tony Salvatini, Johnny Bacardi. We're going to go out all night long, baby.
So silly.
We're going to get some za, pick up some chicks.
Yeah, I got this fucking pan of baked ziti. I got this.
Johnny Bacardi, yo. Sorry, you just so cavalierly went past that name, and I'm like, I can't.
How is his name Johnny Bacardi? But yes, I mean, I don't. It hasn't been erased from DC Comics history, but it is.
It was just sort of left on the side of the road.
It is curious though, because like lots of writers and artists like to do the little cameos or whatever. Like, this is a thing I read, but maybe it's also just that so few people read this.
I know.
That the odds of those people then becoming
I want
the creators and like wanting to reference those, like this is way more obscure than Captain Carrot or some shit like that. Like,
yeah.
I think it might just be like that self-propagating thing where it was so few people were into it. Then it got like derailed and canceled. And now, even from like just the reference perspective, it's so obscure that it's like, well, what's even the point of doing it?
I want like a Steve Orlando, Gail Simone take on this.
Yeah, I Gerard Way.
Ooh, he would be good. Yeah.
Gerard Way and
Jeff
and
Lemire.
like Ben Templesmith or Jeff Lemire on art or something like that.
Yeah,
would be
because
neat.
his art would make a lot of sense for this.
I mean, yeah. I have thoughts. Or even Andrea Sorrentino would be great on art.
Sorrentino.
Hey,
Johnny Bacardi loves it.
Bacardi, Tony Salvatini, Andrea Sorrentino. Hey.
We're all family.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to meet at the fucking docks and do this comic.
Yeah, that's awesome.
These are Union docks.
All right, let's leave Reddit and head on over to our final platform, Dog Score.
Oh, shit.
And go.
Just wait. Wait, God damn it.
Go.
Wait, God damn it.
1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Just wait.
3, 2, 1, go. If you pass out again, I swear to God. Did you pass out again?
I may have.
Jesus Christ!
In my head, I was trying to formulate what the next comeback or something would be.
I saw you drift and you fell over. I
Hang
can't
on.
keep doing this to you. Oh, yeah. Oh, Johnny Bacardi's showing up where this place is about to get a lot cooler right now.
Yeah, I fully passed out there.
Oh, there we go. Oh, Johnny Bacardi brought a bong? me.
Oh, I'm okay. That just made me laugh and cough too much. Please, I beg of you, leave all that silence in.
1, 2, 3, go!
Oh, fuck. I still have to do this. Pass out again.
You can't just keep doing that. I was reading an article the other day about Whose Line Is It Anyway? And they were talking...
Oh, yeah, because wasn't that Colin O'Ryan had a recurring thing where when they didn't want to do hoedown, they would just pass out?
Or they would go, fuck, a fuckity fuck.
Yeah. Oh.
And go.
In the cold dark scorn for rain. Worth it.
Oh, yeah. Totally worth it.
God, I feel great, though. I feel so awake now. I should do that just periodically throughout the day. I actually feel really good right
It
now.
might be bad for your brain.
I'm not using that.
I am.
It's just full of fucking comics.
I'm using it.
Time to pony up on that health insurance.
Oh, no. And when this marketing Superman... Wait, oh, no.
I'm a little curious how long I was out.
It was probably about a couple seconds. But
Because-
I watched it and was like,
Because while I was in there, I learned to play the flute.
oh, no.
Yeah, I
think
lived
you-
a full life.
Do you have a tumor?
Yeah.
Hold on, read this book about Spanish.
This is Phenomenon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to love that book. Movie. Did I pass out? First question.
I met Angie Thriller while I was out.
Oh, no, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, God. What, you're 8 seconds?
Yeah, yeah. I didn't have to watch my brother die. I just chose to.
Well, I made it help when you were the one who caused it.
Well, you got to keep your eye on the prize. I didn't want to miss.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I held them under the water for so long.
Oh, Jesus.
First question comes from Butt Fart Butt. Never not funny. Who asks, scenario. I
should have done you're in the dock squad, baby. You're gonna die.
Oh, yeah. You've got all of this meatloaf in your brain constantly.
I was trying to avoid that because you always yell at me when I do meatloaf.
I just don't want it to be a thing we talk about.
Also, the other songs I'm thinking of aren't classic rock.
No, I know.
It's been a dark squad getting from there to here.
My doc scored. I deleted this question so many times because I kept thinking it was from last week and then I realized that it wasn't. Scenario. Plastic Man takes the form of a hilarious red and yellow table and then dies. Assuming he remains in table form, and that Angie is also on that same Earth, could she then merge with Plastictable?
I mean, short answer, yes.
Mm-hmm.
The interesting point in here is that Angie Thriller's powers,
Yeah.
and this is not from this issue,
No,
by the way.
this is all
from
news to me.
Supplementary reading.
Okay.
Angie Thriller's powers is that she can merge with inanimate objects. There are only a couple of like living people she can merge with.
Yeah.
I think one of them is her husband, Edward Thriller. Great last name, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible last name.
Eddie Thriller.
And there's someone else. There's someone else too, but I can't remember offhand. But there's only a couple of people that she could do that with. So yeah, the idea is that Plastic Man does kind of have to die as an object. But then yeah, theoretically, she should be able to use her powers to merge with that. I don't know why she'd want to.
No.
But technically, strictly speaking, she could if he was dead.
Yeah.
But I think that's weird for her. Like, at least like buildings and streets and stuff like that. It's not like they, other than Danny the Street, it's not like they were alive and then she was like, great, gonna crawl into this corpse. That would be weird for her, I would imagine, even as an astral being, to just be in the corpse of Plastic Man, whether or not he's shaped like a table.
Yeah,
like,
that's
kind of fucked up.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But
That's a fucked up question. Butt, fart, butt.
Yeah, I expect more from you.
I expect serious inquiries only from butt, fart, butt.
Next question comes from lovely Miss Long, who asks, would you consider Thriller to be trippy? I think that it's an 80s trippy series that we've never spoken about with in a limited series.
It does feel, I mean, trippy doesn't, Oxford defines trippy as, there's not like a base qualification for that, but we're talking about this being a sort of,
It's a good trip, man.
a sort of like progenitor to some of those vertigo-y things that come later.
Yeah.
If we're considering those to be, if we're considering things that are esoteric or high concept or dealing with like these planes of existence and the nature of time and stuff like that, if we are considering that trippy, then yes, absolutely this qualifies.
Yeah.
I mean, the art, God, just how different it is from everything else that was coming
like
out.
from like formatting. Like it's
Yeah.
such a different structure.
The layouts are incredible. I mean, literally every
My wife
single
would
page.
hate this.
Literally every single page is a different layout.
Yeah.
There is no base it's coming back to or no sort of standard thing. It's not even like, oh, I can always count on reading the panels like left to right and top to bottom. Like even that isn't always true.
Yeah.
It's a wild book. Artistically, I mean, again, maybe not trippy, but what Trevor Von Eden is doing, and then what the colors from Tom Zuko add, it really gives it this sort of like dream feeling, or like you're walking through a fog. It makes me think of like the sort of like the Denny O'Neil Question a little bit, but only in like the spiritual sense, or like that Rick Veitch Question series where he's sort of like an urban shaman. Like it makes me think of like, you know, breathe something in, it will reveal the way. Kind of like, that's what this book feels like to me. And that's sort of what's happening to Dan, right? He gets this vision of Angie, which is like the version of like, here, take this.
Yeah.
And then he's sort of just like, and we are with him like, oh, fuck, now I'm in a car. Who are you? You are the car. And then he's like, oh, fuck, what's this? An address? And he's like, oh, shit, this woman's getting attacked. And he's like, oh, the people attacking her just puked. Does she look like my mom? I kind of want to fuck her. And then he's like, oh, fuck, oh, you're the flying priest. I remember you. It's just like, you're just falling from thing to thing. It really does feel kind of like a spinning nightmare, or like, where you go to a party and you black out, but you remember, like, at one point I was under the ping pong table, and at another point I was hanging out the second floor window. I don't remember what happened in between.
That's really funny.
That's sort of what this book feels like.
Yeah.
If you call that trippy, then this book's trippy.
Yeah. It's like from the psychedelic standpoint, it from like the weird formatting to like the color palettes to the like line work, like
and yet, even though there's not much story per se in this, you could follow it. Yeah. Like it's not going so far as to be like, I have no fucking clue what happened here. I know.
Like, I would say that Morrison works often are more like story trippy than this.
Yeah, totally. I completely agree. Like, it's actually relatively linear. It's the art that's really elevating it more than anything.
Yeah, definitely.
The writing is solid and it works for this. And there's a lot of pieces that are
Balances
jiving
it kind
there.
of nicely. Yeah,
But it's Trevor Von Eden that even puts it in the discussion of it being like this sort of high art kind of something esoteric. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to Flying Fox 1089, who asks, I have never heard of Thriller or The 7 Seconds. Horrible team name. Sounds like my college nickname. Haha, just kidding. I don't get it.
Oh, sweetie.
So my question is, have they made appearances in more modern comics, say New 52 and beyond?
No. I mean, no.
God, no.
New 52 and beyond, certainly not. Like I said,
it's largely forgotten.
There's a Who's Who entry about them. I think it's Who's Who number 23.
But when did that come out?
Like in the 80s.
Yeah, like around the same time this book was out.
Yeah. There's a, I don't even know that it's an appearance. There's like an homage or reference to them in an issue of Ambush Bug that I have not tracked down.
Wow.
And other than that, you know what? I'm just going to do a little double check here. But I'm pretty confident that there are not appearances I can track down.
At least not listed like on the DC site or
certainly
something.
nothing that I can easily cite. I mean, these characters have gone nowhere. And while I appreciate the view of Johnny Bacardi, Thriller super fan,
thank you.
Yeah, down here on these docks, we stand a Thriller.
Yeah. We take a little gabagool and we just eat it while reading Thriller.
Yeah. It's just like my mama's sauce. Hey, is that a my mama's sauce?
Oh,
that's a very good looking sauce.
Do I want to fuck out a mama sauce?
I'm making him actually Italian now.
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Don't pass out.
I'll do what I want. You're on my. Oh fuck.
I know. Now you're.
You are my boss.
Now you. Yeah, that's right. Also,
is it bad if I'm coughing up blood?
Yeah. Finish your workday and then you can go.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Scrooge, sir. Can we have another lump of coal for the fire?
Just another penny's worth.
that penny's worth.
I do wonder if now you're gonna be like chasing the high of passing out,
like a really like lame version of Flatliners. It's like, oh god, no, I don't want to die for a bit, but I would love to fall asleep.
If I could wake up some food in my mouth, that'd be great.
Fucking wake up with I mean, that's the dream.
So, no, it's not appeared anymore.
No appearances there. Not even like appearances by a character. Like it's not like Cracker Jack went on to like join the Doom Patrol or something. Like nothing. Like this is so self-contained, and that is admittedly weird. Even a weird one-off thing. You think at some point
someone would have done it
even
for fun.
Fucking like Slam Bradley, the character that used to headline Detective Comics before Batman came around.
Yeah.
Slam Bradley shows up and stuff.
Yeah.
He works with Batman sometimes. Like he's there.
Crazy.
This is such like a segregated little area. It's very, very odd that it's so untouched. They wrote Swamp Thing and Shade the Changing Man and that into continuity. They bring in fucking the characters they buy from other places. Wildstorm characters are part of DC, and they've just never ever come back to this well.
Crazy.
I have no idea if there's like a rights thing in there, or I have no clue if there's like a legal reason for that or anything. But it's just never happened. It's wild.
Weird.
This is the craziest thing you could have picked.
I'm so happy.
I mean, I'm very happy I read this. I can't believe how much I liked it. I was fully expecting to be like, oh yeah, I see why I got canceled.
Yeah.
I mean, I do, but I also love it.
I know. I'm afraid to get more because I'm like, I just wanted to sit in this moment where I'm like, it has all the potential for the
think
world.
that's just it. I think, especially after reading that article, I was like, man, I kind of don't want to read more of this now because I like that. Like, I want to just believe in the promise of the series and not see it fall off the rails or see the creators start to hate each other or whatever the fuck happened. Like,
but I do want to own them.
Oh, Jesus.
I want them in my possession. I just Wake up. I got ziti.
Oh, hey! Instead of smelling salts, he just waves a fucking lasagna under the.
You fucking Garfield piece of shit. Wake up. Moving on from Flying Fox 1089 to Cosmic DM, our favorite spacey, sexy texter.
Ooh, taking a rocket ship.
All the way to them DMs. Who asks, how would Tom King have written this?
Right.
What a weird fucking question.
I mean, I'll tell you right now,
He wouldn't have.
it's still centered around Dan watching his brother get killed. It's going to be about the trauma
True.
of investigative journalism in like a war zone.
Oh, totally.
That thing is going to be big in there. Except you wouldn't find out that happened in the first issue. We'd be like 7 issues in, and you'd be like, remember what Dad said. If you're ever working together, one of you is going to die. Make sure the camera's on.
Yeah. And then send it to me.
Yeah.
Your dad.
Oh God. By the way, one day you're really going to want to fuck your mom.
And trust me, I get it.
Yeah, I think that weird element that's like how this book kicks off definitely stays and is more prominent in a Tom King one.
Definitely.
Because that's a real through line for him, obviously. I think you get, obviously, a 9-panel grid.
Yeah.
It's the easy joke.
Yeah.
That's the low-hanging fruit. I think you also get, I think you would see more like, you know, like how in Mr. Miracle, sometimes the panels themselves would glitch or something. I think you'd see Angie like through or behind the panels, or like you sort of mess with the form that way a little bit. Maybe you would even incorporate some of the more kind of Morrison established things about comic books and say Angie has found a way to imbue herself into a physical comic book in our world, right?
Oh, that's a Morrison book.
Almost like an Ultra Comics kind of thing.
That's a Morrison book. Yeah.
I know, I'm pushing a little bit, but I still feel like there's room for that, where she's out here, like in our world, and then is communicating stuff back to them in their world. Like, I could see something like that happening in a King one, but it would also, there would have to be, you wouldn't know what the 7 seconds was until like issue 11. You know, like these things that a lot of what we saw in here would be dragged out.
Oh, yeah.
That's my feeling about it.
Here's my dream, is that the book turns into a thing where they're all going after like a single mission that they were all destined to do, and each of them have like 1 of 7 seconds that has to happen all simultaneously.
Right. I mean, in a way, what you're pitching is not exactly, but almost like Morrison's 7 Soldiers thing, where it was an event where what if there was a super team and they didn't know they were on a team?
Yeah,
where each of them kind of had a thing, and like you found out that sort of fate kind of meant that each of their escapades was important to each of the other ones.
That's kind of what I want.
Pitching
that's kind of what I want, is that like they all have these very specific set of skills because they're going to work for this exact moment.
Yeah, it's
I make them a nightmare for
without
people
having
like
read the rest of the series. It's almost weird that at the end of this issue, the team is together.
Yeah,
they all know who each other are.
Yeah.
They're like, we're the 6 seconds. Welcome, number 7. Like, they say that to Dan, right? That's almost weirder than if Angie from like Beyond Our Plane was sort of like orchestrating the chess pieces and like, if I push you in this direction, you'll be there right at the moment. Because you almost get that sense when he's meeting them that he's like, someone just hands him a thing and it's got an address and he goes there and someone's there and you're like, oh fuck, he's being like pushed through time a little bit. And then he just ends up at the house and they're like, yeah, we're all here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a little odd that way. You're right.
But it's, oh God, so much potential.
Yeah. If
someone has these books, like, let me know. I want these books.
Yeah.
I'm going to get these books.
Oh God.
Last question comes from Bruno, who asks, this was a weird read, but yeah, I mean, this is a weird read.
I mean, I'm not weird. I just can't breathe.
It's just, I mean, do we need to talk about the toilet thing?
No, that was the Patreon.
You have to pay for that. That's all I'm going to tease you, but you gotta go to the Patreon for all that
God,
sweet.
I'm in my 30s. I'm bald. I got a weird poop thing. I fucking pass out if I laugh too much. I've passed out now twice canonically on this podcast.
I mean, and you don't do this.
You know what? A little aside here.
Okay.
I used to pass out a bunch in like middle school when I was like, I guess like in puberty. If I stood up too quick, I would pass out. Like, instead of just getting dizzy or whatever, I would fully lose consciousness. It used to happen all the time. And then it's like, have I gotten to the age where whatever that thing was has now come back, where my circulation is so poor, where it's like...
I mean, that sounds like a great tie into this next question, because it seems like an issue with vertigo.
Oh, God damn it. I mean, well done.
Thank you. Just don't put too much energy out. He needs more ZD. 2 cc's of ZD.
2 cc's.
This was a weird read, but if it had come out years later, it probably would have been polished into being a Vertigo book. What other books can you think of that DC released before Vertigo existed that would have been a lot more suitable for that particular imprint?
Oh, shit. Oh, God, that's a tough question. Books that came out before Vertigo existed.
So when did Vertigo launch? Because I think that'll be a big thing, right? Because it was probably like late 80s, early 90s, I want to say.
Because it was early 90s. It was 93.
Wow, that late.
So, I mean, things that we considered Vertigo books did not start there.
Wow.
Like Swamp Thing or Hellblazer or things like that. They became Vertigo books when there was an imprint for them.
Totally.
So, not counting the things that did start before Vertigo and then became Vertigo.
Yes.
God, what...
So it would have had to have not lasted that long, which is confusing.
Yeah, it's tough too, because in the late 70s, like around 1978, there was this thing called the DC implosion, where like sales were so bad they basically canceled almost all of their comics. Which is why there's like a weird like 8-issue run of Firestorm and stuff, like, because like stuff just got canceled. They were like, we're making no money, and they like shuttered a bunch of their books.
Crazy.
So then like that like 83 is us kind of crawling out of that. This is like DC and Marvel finally tapping into the direct market instead of selling through like newsstands and stuff like that. Now they're selling to comic book shops, which is why a book like Thriller would have gotten like green lit, is they were like, there's a direct audience. They want some like more literary stuff. They're coming right to you. You don't have to like bank on the person in the checkout line looking at it and wanting it or whatever. Right. Yeah. That's the only reason this book even exists in the first place, is because of that sort of shift that was happening. I mean, fuck me, Jesus Christ.
Well, also, is there any books that you think could have been that didn't?
That like they weren't even written in a way that we would think of as Vertigo, but someone could have Vertigoized them?
No. What I'm thinking of is a book that like was on the cusp that could have been a Vertigo book, but ended up remaining or became was just DC.
Well, let's have a little look here. I'm just pulling something up here just because. I mean, I guess technically speaking, well, no, Vertigo wasn't really like a spot for just Elseworld books. They were their own stories that were a little elevated and stuff like that. So you kind of have to rule out things like Dark Knight Returns or stuff like that maybe artistically or story-wise is a little edgier or darker. Those things that we kind of credit with like changing the tone of comics and stuff like that. Let's have a little look here. It's, I mean...
Like Zatanna could go that direction, I think.
Right, so we're just naming things that could.
Yeah, I mean, because it seems like it's hard to find stuff that existed that would have been more suitable, but just because I think that a lot of those books just kept going, like this is a rare situation where there was a character that was created that had a whole bunch of like people in it and then just never came back. And didn't last that long. Like it doesn't happen that often.
No, I mean, true. I mean, especially the idea that no one has ever gone back to that well. I mean, I guess maybe something like Amethyst.
Oh, yeah.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Because it had that sort of fantasy thing. Yeah. It was maybe never quite as like high concept. I mean, It has
What do you think
it has
makes
conceptual
something...
ideas, like the idea of gem world, that the gems
Yeah,
are
yeah.
both part of your personality and they inform your powers, that it's like it was before Game of Thrones, but it's this sort of Game of Thronesian, like the politics of like, we got to watch out for Opal. Us and Diamond have always been allies. That kind of like the politicking, the fantasy kind of thing.
What do you think makes something essentially like a Vertigo book? Like, what are the elements to a Vertigo book?
I think it's got to be. It's not. I think it has to be dealing in something that's maybe a little more complicated story-wise.
Yeah.
Not to say that never happens in mainstream comics, but like as a routine, we're doing something a little more interesting, a little more complex.
So like,
I think generally your main character is not like heroic. Look at your Constantines, your Alec Hollands, your stuff like that.
That's an interesting
They
thing.
have a hero tendency, but deeply flawed or deeply full of self-doubt. And in the case of Alec Holland, he learns he's not even Alec Holland. He's got an identity crisis.
It makes me think
the
that
thing
like,
with superheroes is they kind of know who they are, even if momentarily they forget.
Yeah.
At the very least, they go, I am this enough to save the day.
I wonder if like 80s and 90s like Green Arrow could have gone like they do some interesting shit.
Oh, you mean that like the hard traveling heroes?
Yeah,
I mean
yeah.
that's even late 70s. But yes, you're right. I think something like that
Yeah.
is certainly on the path of something like this. I feel like, yeah, it's God. Yeah, you're right. Something like that, definitely. I would think of something like the Denny O'Neil run on Question.
Yeah. Question definitely
Which
feels...
was not a Vertigo book,
No.
but I think it definitely kind of feels more in line with something like
Definitely,
Thriller or something
yeah.
like that. I think that's definitely in there.
That fucking book you made me read? Yeah, Jesus Christ, that book felt very Vertigo-ish.
Yeah, that was the Question Quarterly. Yeah, the one where he's
Yeah.
like in the jungle.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah.
shit. Yeah, exactly. I think that fits the model there.
Totally.
It's got to have, mature subject matter, and it's got to be like a little something more complicated than like, this guy is going to sell our building. And
Yes.
then Superman shows up and goes, don't do it. He goes, all right.
Oops.
I think, I mean, that's an exceedingly tough question. I unfortunately don't have a great answer for it.
For sure.
But I agree with you that I think that Green Lantern, Green Arrow,
Yeah.
hard traveling heroes thing totally fits the bill. I think the Question fits the bill.
The whole fucking Speedy thing, I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, totally, right?
I think that's as close as we're getting right now.
Yeah, I don't have really anything else from that era that I would consider to be part of that, I think.
If any of you could think of something, that would be great.
I mean, like what was Frank Miller doing that wasn't Batman? Ronin?
Oh,
Maybe,
yeah,
I guess something
yeah.
like that,
Was there any DC books that Alan Moore did, like prior to Vertigo?
I mean, again, though, a lot of the things I want to name are things that did become Vertigo books, and that's what I'm trying to avoid. But it's like House of Mystery, Sandman,
yeah, for sure.
all those kind of things.
that didn't start there.
This thriller definitely has shades of Sandman in it. This
Yeah.
feels a lot like
God,
stuff.
I'm so sad.
Where is Neil? Okay, Neil Gaiman
Yes.
on Thriller.
Oh yeah.
That I'm into.
Gaiman, fucking Alan Moore. Like either, I would be so
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah,
God,
I think I still like the
show
idea
me
of
that
Andrea
fucking-
Sorrentino on art, or like Ben Templesmith or someone like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I fucking love that.
crazy.
Well, that is the end of the questions, which you know what time it is.
I mean, I used to know time, but now I can't.
Well, it's because you fucking lost enough oxygen to your brain.
What?
Time for everyone's favorite game. Can you guess the name of the character based on someone who does not read comic books and describe that character to us?
You pass out?
Yeah. God, I feel great.
Listen, I've never felt more alive.
Whatever works.
Never felt more alive than when I'm close to death.
Yeah, give me that belt.
Yeah, I'm going to remember this for later. Oh, God, this is how it starts.
That's
I
it.
passed out twice on a podcast, and now I choke myself to get off.
I mean, you haven't put those two together. I'm just saying.
Mom, Dad, turn off the podcast.
Oh, don't worry, they have. Maybe they listen to that one with your sister though. One can only hope.
Oh,
have you heard?
I haven't.
I've
also been avoiding them.
If you don't know what this game is, I sent a photo of a DC character to my wife who does not read comic books, nor does she care for them. She sends back 4 clues describing what she sees. I know the character, the doctor does not. Let's go through these clues.
Sure, let's do it.
And see if you can get it this week.
I got it last week.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Was that with a lot of help?
Fuck you. I either get it or not. It's a pass-fail. There's no qualifiers.
All right. First clue. I feel like if you don't get this, I would be really
Too much
disappointed.
expectation, though.
Dr. Doolittle of the Safari.
Buona Beast.
No.
Animal Man.
No.
Congo Bill.
I feel like this is what happened last
This is
week.
Congo Bill?
No.
Freedom Beast.
No.
Impala.
No.
Do
Do you want to go to the next one?
Sure.
Animorph Vibes.
Oh, he's...
You're going to pass it again. Stop moving.
Beast Boy.
No.
All right, next one.
Third clue. African stereotypes.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's not Vixen because
It's Vixen.
It is Vixen?
Yeah, it's Vixen.
But how's there Animorph vibes?
Because of the image.
Okay, well, what's the image? Let's see. Oh, I see. Just because, when Vixen, touches the totem, you always see like the spirit of the animal she's channeling. So in the image, you see her and you see the sort of superimposed translucent thing. See, I was staying away from Vixen. That was an accident. I was like, it can't be Vixen. I was staying away from Vixen because of that.
It was Vixen.
Wow.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Technically, I mean, I said it was, you said it wasn't, but I'll give it to you.
Well, no, I got it.
I'll give it to you this one.
I got it. It's not up to you to give it to me or not.
I mean, it is.
It's not.
Yeah, I pressed the button. Now it shuts you off.
Yeah, I didn't lose oxygen at all. You just...
Look, I learned how to turn you on. I can turn you off.
Yeah, I think arguably you learned how to turn me off first.
But then I found the artwork that turns you on. I got a message, Jay, from my cleaning lady who was like, that artwork that you got for Reid, who was the artist?
She knows who I am. Oh, right. You know, yes, she does.
Yes, she does.
That's right. Oh, no, we're buds. Yeah.
She was like, I want to get this for one of my friends.
Like that art or just like different
Yeah,
commission?
no, I want to get the exact same artwork. I have a friend who's really into him.
I look good in that piece of art. I wouldn't blame people if they wanted it.
I mean, you 100% look great. Yeah.
I've never looked that good.
That's why I wanted it. The intent was to make you feel good about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, yes, and...
What? I don't understand. What other part could there be? If you residents also got the clue after the third one, or maybe you got it before, or...
Fuck you. I got it. It's pass-fail.
Is it? Or you want
to
send a question for next week's episode. We're out of Prescribed Reid-ing Month.
Yeah, actually, next week we've already got your questions. We're doing the
Oh,
second.
shit,
we're doing the second
motherfucker.
half of our DC animated movie universe episode.
Yeah,
we
you
got
do-
so many questions there, and we just been like. Then we had the crazy month of guests, and then we had Prescribed Reading Month. So we're finally getting around to the second part of that one.
That's right. We posted those a while ago. You already asked the question, so you get nothing. You get nothing.
wow. But Mr. Wonka.
Those are the rules. Fine print right there.
But Mr. Wonka, I stopped pretending to be an invalid so I could come here and get a chocolate factory tour. I should have been working to support my family, but as soon as my grandson brought home that golden ticket, you're goddamn right I got out of that bed and...
What a piece of shit Grandpa
I
Joe
know.
was.
Fuck him, man.
Yeah. Oh, suddenly something's in it for
Hey,
me.
Charlie, you've got a good heart, but Grandpa Joe says we should steal a bunch of shit while we're here.
Son of a bitch. Who's going to tell?
Fuck.
What, those fucking Oompa Loompas? Yeah, right. Look at them. Second-class citizens.
Oh, God.
Grandpa Joe does what he wants.
I may live in a bed, but at least I'm not.
Next thing you know, they're going to have Oompa Loompas asking to vote.
Grandpa Joe is against the Oompa Loompa suffrage movement.
Just sit in the factory and make what I want.
Oompa Loompa doopity tights. We are people and we have our rights.
Thank you. I was waiting for that.
Got it.
That's good. Whose line is it? Any podcast.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk to us, continue to talk to us about nerdy shit like DC Comics, you can do so through our various social media platforms, like our Facebook,
Dr. DC Podcast.
our Twitter,
At Dr. DC.
our Instagram,
Dr. DC Podcast.
our email.
Dr. DC Podcast at gmail.com.
I was going to do it and then you didn't. Reddit.
r/Dr_DC.
And of course, the doc phone is always open.
208-917-3238.
Of course, you can always go and get all of these episodes on our website.
drdcpodcast.com or .ca.
And our merch, baby.
Yeah, buy our merch, baby.
And we got one at the top of this podcast. We always want more 5-star reviews.
Yeah, if they're not through iTunes or Facebook, make sure you take a screenshot and send it to us so we know that you did it.
Yeah, I
We love
appreciate you
getting
giving
those
us
reviews.
extra stars. I mean, even if the platform doesn't allow those.
I mean, take the win, man.
Yeah. I'll take it as the max of whatever that platform.
Oh, my wife
provides.
wants to have too much sex with me. I'm Richard, and I can't just take a fucking win.
And if you want to
It
send
would
us...
just be nice if we could just space it out a little bit.
I'm only one man. I only got one dick.
Oh, trust me, I know.
If you want to send us a real mail,
Yeah, a male.
if you want to send us a physical mail,
Yeah.
you can do so at our address, 301 Hogue Street, Hoge Street, Whitehorse, Yukon, Canada, Y1A1V8. Oh, I want your physical mails.
Yeah, baby. And while you're doing that, you can also pony up.
Oh, yeah.
Hit us up on
Money,
Patreon.
please.
Patreon.com/DrDC. There's a $1, $5, and $7 level. You get access to the Doc Squad, our amazing fun online community. And there's extra episodes, there's videos, there's theme pools, there's all sorts of fun shit happening over there.
you know what
And
you
it
want.
helps support us.
You want that poop story.
Yeah, if you want the poop story, that's the Silver Age
That's the
level.
only
at
way you're
least.
gonna get
Yeah.
it. That's the only way you're gonna get it. So
A bunch of the Golden Age people just go down to the Silver Age. Be like, that's all I'm here for, really.
yeah, no, that's it. That's all I want. And if you want even more content from us, non-poop related, we have a whole other podcast.
Yeah, it's called Ghost Facers, a Supernatural rewatch. We are going through every single episode of CW Supernatural. We talk about real-world monster lore, behind-the-scenes stuff about the production of the show. We've had some very cool guests. We've got some cool guests coming up.
Yeah.
So check it out. We are partway through Season 2 right now.
Holy shit. Ciao, ciao.
All the superheroes, they always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure, they are men of might.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.